Dear students, welcome to the course Science of Consciousness in Ancient India. Today I am going to continue the yoga system and we are going to understand the 8 steps of yoga. That is why the popular name of yoga darshan is Ashtanga yoga. Ashta means 8, Anga means parts or steps. So, how it became Ashtanga, why it is having 8 steps, because Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. These are the 8 steps involved in the process of yoga. Because yoga samadhi, it is not merely the asanas or it is not merely the pranayam or pratyahar. It has all the components together. It's a kind of one by one stepwise process. You cannot reach to up at the peak if you are not stepping at the lowest or the bottom most part. आपको सीढ़ी चढ़नी पड़ेगी. Just like a staircase, if you are not stepping into the first one, the lowest one, you cannot reach at the top. In the same way, Ashtanga Yoga is also that kind of thing. You cannot skip. If you try to jump, there would be consequences. So, you can see in the diagram 4.13, here it is not like ये diagram किसी योग सूत्र की पुस्तक में संस्कृत में बना हुआ है, नहीं. This diagram is created by me for a better understanding of my students or scholars like you, like all of us who are in contemporary times, try to understand everything with a reference of the current available knowledge. अभी तक जो कुछ समझा है उसके बेसिस पे कैसे समझ सकते हैं. So, easy understanding, for the kind of easy understanding this diagram is there. So, if you you just put the stages of Chitta in the mainstream, in the examinations you would be asked to draw the diagrams. So, for drawing the diagram, first of all you need to mention the stages of the Chitta. We are going to upgrade our Chitta, one by one. So, it is a kind of process in your language that you are going to upgrade the software present inside of us, clear. So, first on the lowest stage is your Kshipta Chitta. Kshipta Chitta is what? It is directed towards, in the stage of Kshipta Chitta, our senses are directed towards the cognition of external objects and Rajas dominates, clear, yahi hota hai na. So, here you can see this stage, these arrows are depicting the actions and the senses, and this red circle is representing your Kshipta stage of Chitta. When you are in a Kshipta state or we are in a Kshipta stage, then the Chitta is continuously directed towards the cognition of external things. So, your senses are directed outwards. See, senses are continuously engaged in receiving the stimuli from the outside, from the surroundings, and responding to the stimuli from the surroundings. So, in that process activity dominates, mentally also, physically also, and in both the cases, in both the situations like physical involvement or mental involvement, our Chitta is at the Kshipta stage. If you want to make a control over Kshipta stage, because you have to go or reach to the state of Ekagra, and after Ekagra you have to reach to the Niruddha, if you want to complete the process of yoga. So, one by one we are going to upgrade. First of all, you need to control your Kshipta Chitta, and in that sense or for that purpose, here you can see we have first three stages, Yam, Niyam and Asan. ये इसलिए सिखाई जाती है ताकि हम क्षिप्त को कंट्रोल कर सकें. Because in Kshipta we are continuously engaged in activity because of the dominancy of Rajas. If you want to be stable enough physically also and mentally also, you cannot upgrade your Chitta in the or towards the higher stages. So, Yama, Niyam, Asan, actually they help us to overcome the troubles of first stage, that is Kshipta, and after that in between the stage of breath and next stage towards the subconscious mind, we are having this mood stage. Mood stage means when you are feeling like you should sleep. So, there is a dominancy of tamas. Dominancy of tamas creates a kind of lethargy physically. you would feel like you are very tired, very heavy, a lot of heaviness in the gross structure, and then mentally you would try to shut down the intellect and you would wish to sleep. This is the mood stage, and why it happens? Because of the breath. Your आपका जो श्वास स्तर है, श्वास में क्या आती है? श्वास इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म इन संस्कृत. श्वास, निःश्वास. So once you are inhaling and exhaling, so inhalation, exhalation combined together becomes breath. Once you are having relaxed breath, then only you can sleep. Identify the breath when you are in the awakened state right now, and then when you are lying down on the bed and sleeping perfectly, very nicely, profound sleeping. क्या चीज़ें different होंगी? There would be a relaxed stage of breath which would be available at the time of sleeping, mood chitta. So once you are going to master your breath, means you have to establish a control over the breath also to cross the level of mood chitta. आपको श्वास पे नियंत्रण करना पड़ेगा. How much amount you are going to inhale, then how much amount you are going to exhale. If you elongate or you just expand the vital capacity of your lungs. What is vital capacity? किसी को याद है biology? Vital capacity कैसे identify होती है? Vital capacity of the lungs. The amount of air you are inhaling, then amount of air you are exhaling. उसके बीच में भी कुछ बचता है ना? कुछ amount तो कहीं अंदर रह जाता है. क्या होता है वो? उसको कैसे मेजर आउट कैसे करते हैं? सो इन टोटलिटी व्हाट बिकम्स वाइटल कैपेसिटी? द होल्डिंग ऑफ एयर इनसाइड, द अमाउंट ऑफ द एयर विच कैन बी होल्डेड इनसाइड. you need to hold the air inside, and the time duration, if you are able to hold the air inside for a longer duration of time, automatically your breath is going to be elongated. जितनी ज़्यादा आप अपनी एयर को होल्ड कर पाएंगे, उतनी ज़्यादा लंग की वाइटल कैपेसिटी बढ़ जाएगी. दिस एक्सरसाइज इज़ नथिंग बट द प्राणायाम. प्राण के आयाम को बढ़ाना. इफ़ यू स्प्लिट द वर्ड प्राणायाम, इट वुड बी लाइक प्राण प्लस आयाम. सो यू हैव टू इंक्रीज द ड्यूरेशन ऑफ द एयर दैट इज बीइंग होल्डेड इनसाइड. जितना ज़्यादा समय तक आप होल्ड कर पाएंगे, उतना ज़्यादा आपकी वाइटल कैपेसिटी इंक्रीज हो जाएगी. इट्स लाइक यू आर ट्राइंग टू फिल अ बलून विद द एयर, मोर एंड मोर एयर इनसाइड ऑफ इट, बट देयर शुड बी अ लिमिटेड काइंड ऑफ मैक्सिमम कैपेसिटी, अ पीक, जहाँ तक उसमें हवा भरी जा सकती है. सो इट्स काइंड ऑफ एक्सरसाइज विच गिव्स अस यू कैन से प्रोफिशिएंसी इन होल्डिंग द एयर इनसाइड for a longer duration of time. This is pranayam. So you see, second stage, how it is going to be done, that is pranayam. You have to make the control over mood chitta just by doing pranayam. That's why जैसे ही शुरू करेंगे आप meditation, आप सबसे पहले क्या करेंगे? सोने लग जाएंगे, नींद आने लगेंगी. नींद पर कंट्रोल इस्टेब्लिश करना है तो प्राणायाम आपको बहुत रेगुलर सीखना होगा. जितनी ज़्यादा आपकी लंग की वाइटल कैपेसिटी इंक्रीज हो जाएगी, प्राणायाम उतना अच्छा मास्टर होगा, उतनी जल्दी आप अपनी नींद पे कंट्रोल इस्टेब्लिश कर लेंगे. सो द एक्चुअल यू वे और मेथड ऑफ हैंडलिंग योर स्लीप इज़ प्राणायाम. जब आपको बहुत नींद आ रही हो, आपको एग्ज़ाम की प्रिपरेशन करनी है, बट यू आर फीलिंग वेरी वेरी टायर्ड, वेरी स्लीपी, यू डू प्राणायाम. इमीडिएटली यू वुड मेक अ कंट्रोल ओवर द ब्रेथ, ऑटोमेटिकली यू वुड बी फंक्शनल. आपका इंटेलेक्ट तमस के प्रभाव से मुक्त हो जाएगा, सोएंगे नहीं आप. सो दिस स्टेज इज overcome by pranayam. Next stage, when our chitta migrates from mood to the vikshipta, that means you are trying to make dominancy of sattva, still your chitta is getting deviated or getting entangled into different kind of distractions because of the presence of rajas. So that becomes the vikshipta stage. सत्व डोमिनेट करना चाहता है, लेकिन रजस पीछे से आके उसको डिस्टर्ब कर देता है. सो ये है विक्षिप्त स्टेज. फ्रॉम मूड टू विक्षिप्त यू हैव टू डू प्रत्याहार, क्योंकि अब यहाँ पर फिजिकल बॉडी इन्वॉल्व नहीं है. subconscious involve हो गया, your energy is involved, an abstract thing is involved, an abstract thing which cannot be delimited by a perfect shape, size and structure or dimensions, that needs to be controlled, and that is what manas. आपका मन जो है वो अस्थिर हो रहा है, डिस्टर्ब हो रहा है. रजस आपको बार बार आपके मन को एकाग्र होने से रोक रहा है. So for controlling your manas, a kind of subconscious state which is actually not having a particular shape, size, structure or dimension, you have to make sure that it should be stable. Your man should be focusing on a single identity or single point, that is pratyahar. So we have these 5 things: yam, niyam, asana, pranayam and pratyahar together. 5 external. So you see yam, niyam and asan, then pranayam, and then till pranayam we have to use this technique to overcome the troubles of mood and shipt. After that, pratyahar is used to actually control the stage of vikshipt. Then from vikshipt to ekagra you have to migrate again. So these 3 stages are internal. अब ये इंटरनल क्यों हो गई? क्योंकि ये सटल पर काम करेंगी, जिसका आपको पता नहीं है कि वो कैसा दिखता है, वो है क्या. Manas is a so subtle and abstract entity that you cannot actually identify its locus, because it is in somewhere in the chakras. In the petals of the chakra there is one constituent, that is manas, that second constituent that is buddhi. So manas कहाँ पे है, कौन से चक्र में? Last semester I explained you. What is a locus? Metaphysical locus of manas. Which chakra? Metaphysical locus of manas. We have 6 chakras. Then what is the metaphysical locus of manas? Lowest most chakra is name, Mooladhar, then Swadhisthana, then Manipur, then Mooladhar, Swadhisthana, Manipur, then Anahat, then Vishuddhi, and last is Agya. उसके बाद सहस्रार beyond the microcosmic structure. So Mooladhar, Swadhisthana, then Manipur, then Anahat. So बुद्धि और मनस कहाँ है? Metaphysical locus of manas is Manipur. Metaphysical locus of बुद्धि is स्वाधिष्ठान. आगे आएगा काम, रिलेट इसीलिए कर रही हूँ, बिकॉज वी हैव टू टच काश्मीर शैव दर्शन. सो ये पूरा डायग्राम उसी से लिंक हो जाएगा. वंस यू आर trying to establish your chitta of the vikshipta stage, that means you are trying to dominate sattva, to go or to reach to the state of ekagra, focused attention. So automatically our dharana, the next stage or the next step of yoga, plays an important role. Efforts to overcome the troubles of vikshipta stage, from vikshipta to ekagra, if you want to migrate, dharana holds the mind, holds the manas. And then last ekagra, from ekagra to niruddha you have we are going to use dhyan. So जिसको ध्यान लगाना कहते हैं वो ये स्टेज है, और वो तब आपको अचीव होगी जब आप ये सारे मास्टर कर चुके होंगे, एक एक करके. एक दिन में नहीं होगा, एकदम से नहीं होगा. So once you are going to focus on, you are going to meditate upon something, that is dhyan, and dhyan brings ekagra chitta. Last stage is niruddha chitta, in which samadhi gets established, and samadhi is established in the niruddha chitta. So after samadhi, what you actually realize? This pure consciousness, your own version of अनबाउंड एनर्जी, योर ओन वर्जन. ये कहीं बाहर नहीं है, ये कोई बाहर बैठे भगवान नहीं है जिन पर लड्डू चढ़ाना है, ये आपका अपना वर्जन है, अनबाउंड with beyond the limitations of everything. So unbound energy is the pure consciousness, and the realization of that unbound energy or pure consciousness is the purpose of yoga. So yoga is neither the asana nor yam nor niyam nor pratyahar or pranayam or dharana, dhyan or samadhi. It is a composite structure of everything which leads to the realization of one's own unbound energy, that is pure consciousness. Clear? ये आपका बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है. इसको अचीव कैसे करना है? सो द प्रोसेस ऑफ रिवर्सल ऑफ द मैनिफेस्टेशन If you take that, once we are here right now in this form, limited potency, limited energy and completely entangled in the cycle of sufferings, कुछ भी अपने कंट्रोल में नहीं फील होता, बहुत लिमिटेशंस फील होते हैं. So in that stage, this is the form of manifestation of pure consciousness. This pure consciousness manifests itself in this mode. One by one, Chitta comes down. Niruddha, Ekagra, Vikshipta, mood and Shipta. Then we are here right now as Shipta personality, directed towards the cognition of external objects because of the dominancy of Rajas. But if you reverse the cycle, if you try to involute, go inside of you, so it is the journey of reversal of reflected consciousness towards pure consciousness. You are going to reverse the process, and that is yoga. So in the reversal, yoga becomes the means, a kind of tool or an instrument through which you can actually traverse back to your original state of unbound energy, that is pure consciousness. So total target, or you can say the actual target of yoga, is the realization of pure consciousness, and that is the purpose. One by one, if you are going to understand yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, and then the realization and liberation, what it is. So we are going to understand these steps, 8 steps one by one. That's why it is Ashtanga Yoga. First stage is of 5 external means, जो हमें कह रहा, जिसको संस्कृत में वर्ड दिया गया बहिर अंग. दिस इज बही, बही मीन्स आउटसाइड, अंग because they are the parts. So bahi ang, it becomes bahirang because of the sandhi. So this is bahirang, means external parts, 5 external parts, yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dha. These are the 5 external one. So one by one, first is yam. See, this is also again in a kind of staircase structure. सीढ़ियाँ हैं, one you have to step on the first one, then you can only go to the top one, you cannot skip. So first is yam, and these are ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. First is ahimsa. What is ahimsa? In the first line you can see they are termed as mahavrat. This is maha and vrat. Normally what we understand by vrat, फास्ट, और फास्ट में करते क्या है, कितने लोग एक्चुअली में खाना नहीं खाते हैं, और बहुत सारे लोग बहुत कुछ खाते हैं, और क्या क्या खाते हैं, केला, अनदर थिंग फलाहार, उसी को केला, उसमें एक सबसे एक कंस्टिट्यूएंट है, और भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें खाते हैं. सो फर्स्ट थिंग इज फास्टिंग. फास्टिंग मतलब व्रत नहीं होता, व्रत का मतलब होता है संकल्प, डिटर्मिनेशन. राइट डाउन द एक्चुअल मीनिंग ऑफ व्रत, इट इज डिटर्मिनेशन और संकल्प. एनी काइंड ऑफ डिटर्मिनेशन बिकम्स व्रत. नाउ इफ यू हैव टेकन अ व्रत ऑफ नॉट ईटिंग समथिंग फॉर वन डे, that becomes a kind of fasting, but still you eat different things. I was just using falahar or something else करके आप खाते रहते हैं. So the purpose of vrat is what? To cleanse the body. First thing, if you are trying to relate with the physical body, the gross structure, so cleansing of the physical body, it can be done if you are not taking the regular food for one day. So what would happen? The accumulated things would be first used in the body. So it is a kind of catabolic process inside of us going on. So one day fasting, for what purpose? For cleaning the body from inside at the physical level. But at mental level what it is? Controlling of the senses. एक दिन के लिए मुझे चाट नहीं खानी है, गोलगप्पे नहीं खाने हैं, तो आप अपने आप को कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं उन किस चीज़ों से जो आपको अट्रैक्ट करती हैं, जिसकी तरफ आप अपने आप खींचे चले जाते हैं. सो जस्ट दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स विच आर ईजिली अट्रैक्टिंग यू टुवर्ड्स themselves, you try to make control over your manas, to restrain your manas from going towards those kind of things in imagination also. So mentally also, physically also, if you are having determination to do something, that becomes a vrat. And in that sense, all the yamas or the 5 yam, ahimsa, satya, asteय, brahmacharya, aparigraha are a kind of महाव्रत, क्योंकि ये एक दिन नहीं किए जाएंगे, रेगुलर करने हैं, रोज के हैं. फर्स्ट स्टेज अहिंसा, non-violence. What it is? It is the first ladder which should be practiced wholeheartedly in a holistic manner. It strengthens the compassion which is an attribute of pure consciousness. If you are understanding that we should not kill other organisms, then it is a kind of compassion for each and every being to be considered as a part of one's own consciousness, as an extension of one's own consciousness. If I can feel the pain, the next one identity can also feel the pain. This is a first stage that needs to be practiced regularly, routinely. लेकिन क्या हम कर रहे हैं? We regularly kill the ants, we regularly kill the mosquitoes, we regularly kill each and everything that disturbs us, or we consider ourselves superior of whatever, we kill it immediately. Ahimsa is the first stage. Once this is practiced, then the second stage comes like truthfulness, satya, and addressing the reality as it is satya. It should be practiced with intelligence for a greater interest. See, the second line is it should be practiced with intelligence. Truth is what? If you are seeing that somebody is going to kill an innocent guy, and you are trying to say, like somebody asks you if you have seen the person, and you say no, I haven't seen, or you just distract the another person. So it is not the truth, you have not said the truth. So क्या करेंगे आप? Whether what should be done? So here it is mentioned like satya or truthfulness needs to be practiced with intelligence for a greater interest. If you are thinking like you are going to save the life of someone who is innocent, so you distracted the another person, that comes under the category of truthfulness, satya. So you are addressing the reality, you have to address the reality as it is, but without with taking the greater interest under consideration. This is the second stage. Third stage, asteya, non-stealing, the practice of controlling the greed. आपको कोई चीज़ बहुत अच्छी लग गई है, you just went into the room of your friend and he is having that thing, you felt like it is very good and you just took it. This is a greed. So you have to make control over your greed. कोई चीज़ बहुत अच्छी लग गई है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वो आपका पोजीशन होना ही चाहिए. So this is asteya. Fourth is brahmacharya, celibacy, is a controlling of senses and actions along with the manas. It's a kind of behavior needs to be practiced for the realization of pure consciousness, that is Brahman. So from Brahman itself we have the word brahmacharya. Brahman is pure consciousness. So in order to realize this pure consciousness, what kind of acharan or behavior should be practiced, that is understood as brahmacharya. And that is why brahmacharya is not only restricted for the 25 years of a student life. It is understood as like lifelong practice. Whenever you are trying to realize or to recall yourself as a form of Brahman, you have to practice the brahmacharya again. For example, all the rishis, in our tradition, all the rishis, from the beginning I told you what are Vedas. वेद वो है जिसको ऋषियों ने देखा, यानी ऋषयः मंत्र दृष्टारः. ऋषिज आर दोज हु हैव परसीव्ड द नॉलेज ऑफ द वेदास इन द फॉर्म ऑफ मंत्रास. ठीक है, बट ऑल द ऋषिज आर मैरिड, दे ऑल हैव फैमिली. Still they practice brahmacharya whenever they want to know or actually recall one's own state of pure consciousness. सो ब्रह्मचर्य का मतलब ये हरगिज़ नहीं है कि आप संसार छोड़ करके हिमालय पे तपस्या करने चले गए, नहीं. Even if you are getting married after 25 or 26 years, then also in the process of practicing other ashramas like grahastha, then vanaprastha, then sannyas, whenever you want to recall your state of pure consciousness, you have to practice brahmacharya, controlling of the senses and manas. To restrain, once you restrain your senses, automatically you would be involuted, you would reverse the journey of manifestation. Manifestation gets reversed, automatically you are involuting yourself, all the energy goes inside of you, and the process of yoga starts. You would realize your or recall your stage of pure consciousness, that is unbound energy, unbound happiness. So brahmacharya is the controlling of senses and actions along with the manas. Then last is aparigraha, non-possession. It is the behavior of non-accumulation of wealth and worldly belongings. It will strengthen the renunciation using the manifested ones in a quantity needed for one's survival. So if you are accumulating too many things, कि मेरी 10 पीढ़ियाँ बैठ कर खाएंगी, इतना कमा लूँगा मैं, तो उसका कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है, क्योंकि सुनामी आ जाए, भूकंप आ गया तो आपकी तो सारी संपत्ति वैसे ही नष्ट हो जाएगी, 10 पीढ़ियाँ आ ही नहीं पाएंगी, तो आप किसके लिए इतना कर रहे हैं? सो नॉन एक्यूमुलेशन इज अपरिग्रह, आपके सर्वाइवल के लिए, फॉर द सर्वाइवल ऑफ एन इंडिविजुअल, वॉट एवर अमाउंट इज नेसेसरी दैट शुड बी टेकन, leave rest of the things for the consumption of others also, that is aparigraha. So these are the 5 yam, and what they do actually, these 5 yam regulate the energies of the body that results in a surplus of energy which can be used for the transformation of one's personality, and these 5 rules harmonize relationship with the other beings, how you need to maintain a balanced relationship with others. This is the target of the yam. So these 5 yamas help in producing sattvic fluctuations of consciousness which can actually harmonize the relationship with the other being. For that purpose yam is required. तो पहले यम करना सीखें. जब आप एक significant time period के लिए यम की practice master कर लेंगे, तब आप नियम करना सीखें. This is a kind of staircase. Once you master yam, then you can proceed for the niyam. Right now what is happening, everyone wants to practice asanas, but they have nothing, nobody wants to take care of the yam. आप ही लोग कह रहे थे ना मैम योग करवा दीजिए, तो मैम योग तब कराएंगी जब आप यम और नियम मास्टर कर चुके होंगे, और ये काम आपका है, इसके लिए कोई इंस्ट्रक्टर नहीं चाहिए. So after yam, niyam, this is also a kind of staircase, one by one. Shuch, santosh, tapas, swadhyay and ishwar pradidhan. What is a shuch? You see, shuch is the purity within and outside. This is important at both the levels, that is mental and physical level. Now what kind of purity? If you have not taken bath, this is a physical impurity. If you have taken the bath, then you are physically pure or clean, but mentally you are thinking continuously that you would slap somebody. So you are not clean. Shuchi means cleanliness or purity at both the levels, mentally also, physically also. Second is samtosh. It is a self-satisfaction which is the cause of enforcement of complete satisfaction, that is the power of pure consciousness. That satisfaction comes when you are able to master which niyam, which yam. I have taught you 5. So अहिंसा, सत्य, अस्तेय, ब्रह्मचर्य, अपरिग्रह, इन 5 में से कौन है जो आपको संतोष की तरफ लेके जाएगा, नियम रीइंफोर्स करेगा? अपरिग्रह. अपरिग्रह क्या है? अपरिग्रह क्या है? नॉन एक्यूमुलेशन ऑफ वेल्थ, क्योंकि जितना ज़रूरी है उतना ही एक्यूमुलेट करूँगा, ठीक है. और दूसरा कौन इसमें हेल्प करेगा? अस्तेय. अस्तेय क्या है? इज द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ कंट्रोलिंग योर ग्रीड. हर चीज़ अच्छी लगेगी आपको, पर हर चीज़ आपका पोजीशन हो ज़रूरी नहीं है. सो दिस इज टू यम आर गोइंग टू इन्फोर्स समतोष, सेल्फ सेटिस्फैक्शन. Whatever is required or whatever is sufficient, that much is only your own position, and you have to be very satisfied with that. Once you achieve the satisfaction, automatically there will be a kind of eternal happiness inside, क्योंकि जितना चाहिए था उतना मिल गया. I slept for 6 to 7 hours which is required for my existence. I am satisfied. I have the thing which is required for my existence, that's why I am satisfied. If I am satisfied, automatically I am very happy. This comes automatically. Third stage, tapas. Tapas is for increase in the efficiency of performance of an individual in accomplishing the task. Accomplishing the task, performance. So now you have the word proficiency. In English this is very popular word, proficiency. क्या होता है ये? प्रोफिशिएंसी क्या होता है? स्प्लिट द वर्ड जस्ट लाइक संस्कृत, प्रोफेशनल देन इफिशियंसी, पूरा नहीं लिख रही हूँ, इसको ऐसे स्प्लिट करो, जैसे संस्कृत के शब्द तोड़ते हैं वैसे ही इसको तोड़ो. प्रोफेशनल इफिशियंसी इज व्हाट? इफ यू आर एबल टू गिव योर 100% इन वॉट एवर टास्क यू आर डूइंग, दैट बिकम्स योर प्रोफेशनल इफिशियंसी. So suppose a person is a rickshaw puller and he is very good at accomplishing one's whole daily task. He gives 100% to his own task, that is pulling the rickshaw, and he is doing it continuously, regularly, with full efficiency, with full dedication. That means the person is doing tapas. तपस्या करना केवल वही नहीं है कि हिमालय में जाके तपस्या करने लगेंगे. जिस भी काम को आप कर रहे हैं उसमें आपका 100% अगर आ रहा है, then you are doing tapas. That's why each and every person who is giving complete dedication, who is performing one's own task with a complete dedication and full efficiency, becomes a person who is tapasvi. Clear? This is tapas. Then swadhyay. This word is very interesting. It has two meanings. First is, in Sanskrit we have swadhyay, split the word. So first one is, if you do samas vigraha, compounding, compounded words can be splitted with their vibhakti. So it would be like swen adhyanam tritiya and swasya adhyanam षष्ठी. दो प्रकार का हो सकता है. स्वेन मतलब खुद से स्टडी करना, स्टडिंग बाय योर सेल्फ. आई एम स्टडिंग बाय माई सेल्फ, सो इट इज स्वेन अध्ययनम, सेल्फ स्टडी. स्वस्य अध्ययनम, आई एम स्टडिंग अबाउट माई सेल्फ. ये योग दर्शन क्या है? इट्स अ सब्जेक्ट विच इज टीचिंग यू अबाउट योर सेल्फ. मैं किसी और मशीन के बारे में कुछ आपको जानकारी नहीं दे रही हूँ, आप कैसे एटम बम बनाएंगे ये भी नहीं बता रही हूँ. ये बताया जा रहा है कि मैं कौन हूँ. Who am I? So swasya adhyanam, study about oneself is swasya adhyan. Study by yourself, that is swen adhyan. So it is becomes a swadhyay. Two types of meaning are possible. If you are continuously doing the two things, you are studying by yourself, even if you are just after this class you are going back to the room, your hostels, you are not trying to recap whatever you have understood in the class, there would be no benefit. Your revision is must, your self study is must. Doesn't matter ma'am how much good a teacher teaches, if the student does not put efforts by self study, all kind of knowledge which is achieved or acquired from the mouth of a guru or a teacher, it is not of no use. It won't be get established in your consciousness. आपकी ज्ञान तभी रुकेगा जब उसमें आपका एफर्ट होगा. तो आपका रिवीजन बहुत ज़रूरी है. योर सेल्फ स्टडी इज़ हाईली रिक्वायर्ड. स्वाध्यायम. सो दिस इज स्वाध्याय. एंड देन ईश्वर प्रणिधान is the way towards unconditional surrender of one's own infinite form in order to become infinite. If you want to achieve the state of pure consciousness which is unbound in nature, unbound energy, unbound happiness without limitations, then you have to surrender towards that thing. That means surrendering what? Surrendering the limitations of your senses. There is some kind of knowledge which is beyond the limitations of the senses. हर वक्त अगर आप इस बात पर टिके रहे कि ये चीज़ तो मेरे माइक्रोस्कोप या टेलीस्कोप से नहीं नापी जा सकती, तो आप कभी भी अपनी अनबाउंड स्टेट को रियलाइज़ ही नहीं कर पाएंगे. बिकॉज यू वुड ऑलवेज ट्राई टू डू व्हाट? टू मेजर आउट इन्फिनिटी विद अ फाइनाइट इंस्ट्रूमेंट. जब लिमिटेशंस है इसकी, तो इसे कैसे नापेगा? You have to surrender the limitations of your instrument in order to realize the unbound or unmeasurable state of your own existence. This is ईश्वर प्रणिधान. So ईश्वर प्रणिधान ये नहीं है कि आपने किसी अन्य के सामने अपना सरेंडर कर दिया है. नहीं, आपने अपने limitations को सरेंडर किया है. Means you have given acceptance to the understanding that limitations or boundaries cannot measure out the non-limit or limitlessness. This is the Ishwar Pranidhan. Last one. Now what happens after these 5 stages? They harmonize the relationship to the life and to the transcendental reality. So Yam create a balanced बैलेंस बिटवीन यू एंड द अदर आइडेंटिटीज, ठीक है। नियम क्रिएट्स हार्मोनाइज स्टेट और बैलेंस स्टेट विद इन वन सेल्फ, विद इन एन इंडिविजुअल, आपके अंदर ही उसको बैलेंस क्रिएट करेगा। आई एम सेल्फ सेटिस्फाइड, सो दैट मीन्स आई एम in equilibrium or in a balanced state with my own existence. This is done by नियम, regulations. That's why क्या आज की तारीख में हमारी जुडिशरी क्यों फेल होती है, क्योंकि लॉज हम दूसरों पर इम्पोज करते हैं, अपने पर नहीं करते. If you start applying niyam word on yourself with the target, and the actual meaning of the word niyam is to harmonize relationship with yourself and your transcendental existence, you have to maintain that niyam. So you have to apply niyam on yourself. If you know that you are driving vehicle too fast and there would be the consequences of it, you apply the niyam on yourself, तो किसी और को नियम बनाकर आप पर चालान काटने की ज़रूरत पड़ेगी ही नहीं. सिचुएशन तो यही है. सो नियम इज़ नॉट टू बी इम्पोज्ड ऑन अदर्स, इट इज़ फॉर implementation or yourself. They harmonize the relationship with yourself, within oneself. They help in breaking the cycle of the sufferings. And if you are not driving so too fast, or you are well aware that you should not drive after drinking, then also you are in a state of harmonized or balanced state with yourself. You would automatically come from the cycles of sufferings. There would be no suffering. आपको पता है कि मैं ये काम नहीं करूँगा, मैंने अपने लिए नियम बना रखा है कि मैं कभी भी ऐसा काम नहीं करूँगा. आई वुड नॉट ड्राइव टू फास्ट, आई वुड नॉट ड्राइव व्हेन आई एम ड्रंक. सो ऑटोमेटिकली यू वुड बी रिलैक्स्ड फ्रॉम द स्टेट ऑफ सफरिंग्स. सफ़र होंगे ही नहीं आप. जब सफ़र होंगे ही नहीं तो आप अपने आप ही आप सफरिंग्स की साइकिल से एग्जिट ले लेंगे. सफरिंग्स की साइकिल क्रिएट नहीं होगी तो क्लेश नहीं होंगे. क्लेश नहीं है मीन्स आप अपने आप हैप्पी हैं. यू वुड रियलाइज योर हैप्पीनेस ऑटोमेटिकली, इट कम्स ऑटोमेटिकली. सो यम नियम, you see these yam regulates the balanced state with others, niyam regulate the harmonized state with oneself. After niyam we have asan, and asan does not give any kind of stunt practices. आसन स्टंट नहीं है जिसको आप आसान बिना किसी लॉजिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग के करने लग जाएं. आसन give the body a much comfortable and stable posture. Suppose somebody is having arthritis, person cannot fold the legs, so आप क्रॉस करके लेग्स को नहीं बैठ सकते. ये आसन आपके लिए नहीं है, तो आपको ज़बरदस्ती नहीं करना है. comfortable posture and stable. So whatever asan, there is a complete list of asanas. बहुत लंबी लिस्ट है आसन की, एक या दो आसन नहीं है. एंड दे आर एज पर द comfort of each and every individual. You see all the animals also do the asanas. कभी आप देखिए डॉग्स, कैट्स और smallest possible creature, ant, largest possible creature, whale, elephant, they all have a particular comfortable posture. और आप उनके आराम करने के उस समय में उनका आसन आइडेंटिफाई करिए. जब कभी अभी नेक्स्ट टाइम कभी जू जाएंगे तो ये देख कर आइएगा, ऑब्जर्व करिएगा. दे वुड बी सिटिंग इन अ कंफर्टेबल पॉस्चर. उनका एक ऐसा आसन होगा जिसपे वो पूरे कंफर्ट में होंगे, वही सूटेबल आसन है. सो यू आर नॉट सपोज टू प्रैक्टिस अ लॉट ऑफ आसनास, डिफरेंट आसनास मास्टर करने चले गए, नहीं. You have to identify one particular comfortable posture where you can actually come to a state of peace, mentally also, physically also. That is needed for the entering into the state of ekagra. You cannot concentrate until and unless you are being disturbed by different stimuli. If you are not having comfortable posture, आप focus कर ही नहीं पाएंगे. आप आराम से बैठे नहीं हैं, आपको दर्द हो रहा है तो आपका ध्यान तो वहीं पे जाएगा कि मुझे दर्द हो रहा है, तो आपका एकाग्रता कहाँ से आएगी. एकाग्र को अचीव करना है. दैट्स वाई यू हैव टू मेक श्योर विच काइंड ऑफ आसन इज अ वेरी कंफर्टेबल posture for you, and you can select that asan in order to get transformation to the higher stage of your chitta. So you can see which gives immediate change in the mood and facilitates their endeavor to concentrate the mind. First one, certain group of postures known as mudras, and with along with the asanas there are few important mudras. अब आसन इतना पॉपुलर हो गया है कि मुद्रा की कोई बात ही नहीं करता. आप जब आसन लगाते हैं तो ये जो मुद्रा है ये क्या है, इसका क्या अर्थ है, ये मुद्रा है. ठीक है, इसी तरीके से ये अलग अलग मुद्राएं हैं, हर मुद्रा का एक स्पेसिफिक मीनिंग है और उस आसन के साथ वो मुद्रा प्रैक्टिस की जाती है. दे बोथ गो हैंड इन हैंड, दे आर कंबाइंड टुगेदर टू गिव द इम्पैक्ट. सिंगल सिंगल नहीं प्रैक्टिस होती हैं. सो अलॉन्ग विद द पोस्चर्स देयर आर few special seals like mudras. They are especially potent in altering one's mood because they have more intense effect on the endocrine system of the body. And third, they help in maintaining the consciousness internally. So yam, niyam and asanas help in overcoming the troubles of Kshipt stage of Chitta. In Kshipt stage, our senses are directed towards the cognition of external things because of the dominancy of Rajas. But in order to overcome these distractions, these disturbances, we need to practice the Yam, Niyam, then Asan. If you do regularly, combined effect would be coming for the next level of transition, that becomes a pranayam, mastering of the breath. Until and unless you are seated in a comfortable posture as asan, you cannot start pranayam, elongation of the breath or increasing the vital capacity of your lungs. So in pranayam, pran is the vehicle for the ascent of attention within the body, the focusing of awareness along the bodily axis towards brain. Attention ascends and leads to more and more subtle experiences. You can see this brain is used in with the reference of आज्ञा चक्र, ध्यान यहाँ लगाना है. So इसलिए आपको सारी की सारी एनर्जी नीचे से ले जाकर के ऊपर फोकस करनी है आज्ञा चक्र पे. So once you are doing the pranayam, first of all you have to master your breath. Slowly you all the energy from bottom to top. Bottom it can go to the top, that's why you can focus all the energy at the Agya Chakra. In the final stage of this process, the pranic energy is guided into the topmost psycho energetic system, that is Chakra, that is Agya. Once Agya is activated, then it can link to the Sahasrara, the macrocosmic center. When pran and attention comes to be fixed at that spot, the quality of consciousness may change radically, yielding the state of Samadhi. So after pranayam, we proceed to pratyahar. Once you have mastered the breath, then both asanas and pranayam leads to progressive desensitization and shuts down external stimuli. So at last, in the 5 external parts, pratyahar is that where the external stimuli is completely stopped. अब आपको पता नहीं चलेगा कि बाहर क्या हो रहा है. कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं, आसन लगा के बैठ गए लेकिन सिद्ध नहीं हो पाया क्योंकि यम अब कभी मास्टर नहीं किए, नियम कभी सिद्ध ही नहीं किए, आसन तो लगा के बैठ गए, तो उनका ध्यान कहाँ लगा है, पैर में चींटी काट रही है या मोबाइल पे कॉल आ रही है. दे आर नॉट एबल टू कट देमसेल्व्स फ्रॉम द एक्सटर्नल स्टिमुलाई. तो प्रत्याहार कभी सिद्ध ही नहीं होगा ऐसे लोगों का. इसीलिए इफ़ यू आर गोइंग फॉर सम काइंड ऑफ मेडिटेटिव सेंटर्स, दे कीप द मोबाइल फोन्स फॉर वॉट एवर ड्यूरेशन यू हैव टेकन. कोर्स आजकल पैकेजेस में चलते हैं, 1 वीक, 2 वीक, 1 मंथ. दे कीप द मोबाइल फोन्स फ्रॉम completely away from you. They don't allow anything. आपको वहाँ पर पूरे एक्सटर्नल स्टिमुलाई को शट डाउन करना सिखाया जाएगा. उन सब से दूर कैसे रहना है, उसको मास्टर करने के लिए आपको हर उस डिस्टर्बेंस को ख़त्म करना होगा जो आपको डिस्ट्रैक्ट कर सकता है. सो यू सी, वंस यू आर एंटरिंग और मास्टरिंग आसनास एंड देन प्राणायाम, ऑटोमेटिकली देयर वुड बी अ desensitization inside towards the external stimuli. Now the person comes alive in the inner environment, and when consciousness is effectively sealed off from the external things, there is a state of sensory inhibition. So what is pratyahar? It is sensory inhibition. You won't be able to receive any external stimuli. So now once you are sitting in a particular posture, you won't feel if there is any ant, and you won't feel कि कोई चींटी मुझे काट रही है, कोई पेन आपको फील नहीं होगा. Even not a single, if somebody pins you with a kind of needle then also you won't feel. There is a complete desensitization. एक्सटर्नल स्टिमुलाई रिसीव ही नहीं करेगा, मतलब आपकी नर्व जो काम कर रहा था अब तक सिंपैथेटिक और पैरासिम्पैथेटिक सिस्टम, दैट वोंट फंक्शन. योर कंप्लीट एनर्जी हैज़ बीन इनवॉल्यूटेड इनसाइड. You won't feel external stimuli, you are completely away from the sensitization of external stimuli. Pranayam and pratyahar helps in overcoming the chitta of stage of mood chitta. So, once you have mastered these 5 stages, yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, 5 external things, then you would be able to make a control over क्षिप्त and mood. इतना होने के बाद आपको नींद नहीं आएगी, इतना स्टेबल होने के बाद. सो मास्टर करने के लिए सब आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी और एक दिन में नहीं होगा, क्योंकि ये कोई शो नहीं है. इसको धीरे धीरे शुरू करना पड़ता है, रेगुलर करना पड़ता है, लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन के लिए करना पड़ता है. इफ़ यू हैव डन यम, then you proceed for niyam, then you start asanas and then move on for pranayam and pratyahar. Otherwise, if you try to skip and jump to the next higher stages immediately, it won't be fruitful. You won't be able to master anything. So, you can see this diagram of flow of energy after the 5 external steps. यम, नियम, आसन, प्राणायाम एंड प्रत्याहार. एनर्जी का फ्लो कहाँ तक है, ये आपका एरो मार्क कर रहा है. क्षिप्त एंड मूड, अभी भी यहाँ नहीं पहुँचे हैं आप. दिस इज द एनर्जी फ्लो, दिस इज द एरो इज डिनोटिंग योर लेवल ऑफ एनर्जी फ्लो. कमिंग आउटसाइड, that means you are not able to access the pure consciousness, is still in the stages of when you are reaching to the level of pratyahar. This is from one sided arrow and the energy is completely directed towards the outside. मतलब जैसे ही आप प्रत्याहार करके नीचे वापस अपने काम में लगेंगे, you would dissipate the energy and you won't be able to access the energy until you go to the sleep. That means natural cycle of accessing the energy. But once you mastered all the stages, this arrow would be like bidirectional. At the end of in the next lectures, this arrow would become bidirectional. Energy flow from pure consciousness to the reflected consciousness is balanced, complete, even without entering into the cycle of sleep. जो नेचुरल साइकिल में हम सोने के बाद अपने आप को रिचार्ज कर रहे हैं रोज, वो हम क्या करेंगे, डायरेक्ट वेकेंड से समाधि को ट्रांजिट करेंगे और ये फ्लो यूनिवर्सली बना रहेगा. दिस इज समथिंग विच इज द टारगेट ऑफ योग. So, we can have few questions from this understanding of 5 external stages. For example, first one is explain yamas and niyamas in detail. So, what are the 5 yam? Just quick recap. Yam is first one ahimsa, non-violence. Second, satya. Third, asteya. Fourth, brahmacharya. Fifth, aparigraha. Niyam, first one shuchi, then santosh, then tapas, then swadhyay, self study or study by yourself or study about yourself, दोनों सही हैं. Then last ईश्वर प्रणिधान, you can say like unconditional surrender to one's own higher consciousness. These are the yam and niyam. You can write in detail the explanation. Explain the flow of energy in asana, pranayam and pratyahar, or after asana, pranayam and pratyahar, then what is supposed to be done? You have to draw this diagram and you can write that the flow of energy is directed outside, and this is only one directional, not bidirectional. One directional in what sense? Because it is still directed towards the reflected consciousness, not towards the pure consciousness. Clear? Then take few fill in the blanks. First one is the complete purpose of yoga is the realization of pure consciousness. Second, external means of practice are yam, niyam, asan, then pranayam, then pratyahar. Yam, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, parigraha are known as महाव्रत. Why? They are grand determinations. Why? Because they are supposed to be practiced for a longer period of time regularly. एक दिन में नहीं होगा. So that's why they are महाव्रत. महान व्रत. व्रत मतलब determinations. महान मतलब very grand in nature. Purpose of them is very grand, or we can say highest possible level of consciousness needs to be reached through the Mahavratas. That's why they are understood as Mahavrata. Satya is addressing the reality as it is. जैसी है वैसी बताना. As it is. If you temper it, it won't be the truth. And again, it should be accompanied with intelligence for a greater interest. The behavior of non-accumulation of wealth and worldly belongings, aparigraha. Harmonize the relationship to life and the transcendental reality, नियम. कौन हार्मोनाइज करता है? नियम. यम क्या करते हैं? अदर के साथ. प्राणायाम एंड प्रत्याहार हेल्प्स इन ओवरकमिंग द ट्रबल्स ऑफ कौन से चित्त? प्राणायाम एंड प्रत्याहार. प्राणायाम एंड प्रत्याहार कंफर्म है सबको? जब आपको नींद आएगी तो आप क्या करेंगे? अब प्राणायाम करेंगे. इसी से याद रहना चाहिए. ठीक है. देन हेल्प इन ब्रेकिंग द साइकिल ऑफ क्लेशास. क्लेश की साइकिल को ब्रेक करने में कौन मदद करेगा? यम की नियम? देन इज द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ कंट्रोलिंग द ग्रीड, अस्तेय. यम, नियम एंड आसनास हेल्प इन ओवरकमिंग द ट्रबल्स ऑफ क्षिप्त. In Devanagari it would be like Kshipta. Kshipta Chitta. ठीक है? So for this lecture this is sufficient. Thank you.